You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Hey there, welcome to episode 301 of the Rusted Robot Podcast for Sunday, July 26th, 2020.
My name is Optimus Prime.
Hello, I am C-3PO Human Cyborg Relations.
I am Locutus of Borg. Resistance is futile.
You're like a machine underneath, right? But sort of alive outside?
I'm a cybernetic organism, living tissue over a metal endoskeleton.
You're not quite, human, are you?
No, sir. I'm an android.
These aren't the droids we're looking for.
Counterfeit, facsimile, replica.
We need some sort of robot. Ah, crap! I'm some sort of robot.
What are your prime directives?
Serve the public trust, protect the innocent, uphold the law.
By your command.
Well, hello gang, back at you with another exciting episode of the podcast. It's episode 301, the first episode of the next 300. How did you celebrate last week? Did you listen? Did you share the links? Did you tell everybody that Rusted Robot reached 300 podcast episodes? I hope you did. Did you leave a 5-star review in the podcast, or did you subscribe to the YouTube channel? Probably not, but you can do all that stuff by going to therustedrobot.podbean.com and following all of our social media links right there. There are so many. In fact, I'm going to pull it up right now just to go over that with you guys. And let's see. We've got the Rusted Robot Podcast. We've got our Stitcher Radio Network link. So if you want to listen to us on Stitcher, go ahead. There's a link to review us in iTunes. There's the Facebook group link, the YouTube channel, the Twitter, spots that we've been on, like when we were on 10 Forward and when we were on the Battle Bridge podcast, the Treks and Sci-Fi podcast. We've got a few other ones here and there, and we've got our Patreon support. We also have the Coffee account support, which you can do. We've got 71,061 downloads over the last 6.5 years, and that's pretty good. It says we have 316 episodes. That's because we've done some midweek supplementals, which we actually haven't done for quite a while. So last week we had Josh and Kitty back on the show. It was great to have them. We got a few shout-outs and little snippets of audio from some of our listeners, which is always awesome. Love some listener feedback and support. We gave a shout-out to Richard from Australia, who we haven't heard from in a while, but he did leave a comment on the podcast episode link in the Facebook fan page. And he says, Happy 300. I actually did miss Josh and Kitty. Good that you got to hang out and record for 300. I reckon if Josh wanted a nickname or a name to replace Josh, he could try WOPR or Grumpy Cat 2. Thanks for the shout out. I'm out here listening and fine in lockdown. I did actually mean to record a happy little 300 thing, but work and life got in the way. And of course it does. It's okay, Richard. Just glad to see that you're still out there listening. That's the main thing. If any of you out there would like a shout out on the podcast, to hear your name on the audio, email me, therustedrobot@gmail.com. This is a solo show this week. We just got back from camp, and Robin's sleeping upstairs because he works nights. And I haven't talked to Josh and Kitty this week because I don't know why. Anyway, what's going on here? Not a lot. Like I said, we reached episode 300, and it's all thanks to you fine listeners out there. I was on the website just a moment ago telling you about all the links, such as Stitcher and whatnot, and I just submitted the podcast to something called Pandora, and I should know if we're going to be on there in the next 4 to 6 weeks. Maybe sooner, maybe not. I have no idea. I also submitted for Soulforge podcast as well, my sister show, and thinking of other podcasts that I do. Have you been listening to the Cosmic Pizza podcast with me and Paul and Dan? I hope you are, because it's a lot of fun. It comes out every 2 weeks on Wednesdays, and if you're not listening, you're missing out on a delicious slice of life. And of course, speaking of life, it's now time for the celebrity death of the week.
Keep saying it. Are you a doctor?
She's dead, Chap.
There's a whole heck of a lot. I thought there was lots last week, but all the old people are dying left and right. So I've got a bunch of articles here, and I'm just going to briefly go through them with you. And the first one that we lost this past week was longtime TV host Regis Philbin. He was 88. According to People magazine, he died of natural causes on July 24th, just 1 month away from his 89th birthday. His family shared a statement exclusively with the publication on Saturday, saying in part that they are deeply saddened. His family and friends are forever grateful for the time we got to spend with him, for his warmth, his legendary sense of humor, and his singular ability to make every day into something worth talking about. We thank his fans and admirers for their incredible support over a 60-year career and ask for privacy as we mourn this loss. And of course, we all know him from Live with Regis and Kathy Lee, the morning talk show that was on for decades, and then it switched over to Kelly, and now it's Kelly and some other person, I think. I don't know anymore. But one of the main things that Regis is known for is, of course, popularizing and hosting the most popular primetime game show in history, and that was Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? You remember that from when it first came out 20 years ago, and it pissed me off because it came out and it kept preempting Roswell. You remember that alien show with Katherine Heigl and all the hot teenagers from that day back then? Yeah, kept doing that, kept messing it up, kept messing with my geek intake. But anyway, he died at the age of 88 just a couple days ago. So that's a big loss for celebrity kind. And then the next article that I came across was Peter Green, the Fleetwood Mac co-founder, who died at the age of 73. And there's a whole huge statement here talking about how he formed the Fleetwood Mac band with drummer Mick Fleetwood in 1967, and they came together after Green's stint filling in for Eric Clapton in the Blues Breakers, and they convinced John McVie to join the band as the bass guitarist, and he wrote the instantly recognizable instrumental track Albatross, which remains the band's only #1 hit. And he wrote their two other early hits, Black Magic Woman and Oh Well. And under Green's direction, they produced their first 3 albums. And the first album was released in 1968. And he left the band after a last performance in 1970 as he struggled with his mental health. He was eventually diagnosed with schizophrenia and spent time in the hospital in the mid-70s. He married Jane Samuels in January 78 and divorced in 79, and they have a daughter together. And he was one of the greats. And there were all kinds of tributes to him. And in a tweet, somebody said, I supported the original Fleetwood Mac at Red Car Jazz Club when I was in a local band. He was a breathtaking singer, guitarist, and composer. I know who I will be listening to today. R.I.P. And they go on, and the article's huge. So if you want to read that and find out more about Peter Green, you can. Just go to our Facebook page, and the link is right there. Then we have another big loss, and that is going to be John Saxon, who died at the age of 83. He was famed for his long-acting career, which began in the 50s and spanned several cinematic classics of various genres. He died of pneumonia at the age of 83. He made nearly 200 movie and television appearances, including the 1966 Western The Appaloosa, 1973's Enter the Dragon, and 3 films in the Nightmare on Elm Street series. Although he was born in Brooklyn to Italian parents, he was frequently cast as different ethnicities, can't say that word, in his earlier life, such as Mexican, Puerto Rican, and Middle Eastern. He was also favored for tough guy roles, playing cops, cowboys, and fighters. Bruce Lee's iconic martial arts film Enter the Dragon featured Saxon in a major role as Roper, a competing martial artist. Although his skills were apparently not at the same level as other stars in the genre, Saxon did hold a black belt in karate in real life. And Lee was not the only screen legend to co-star with Saxon. He appeared in Clint Eastwood's Joe Kidd in 1972. And horror fans may know Saxon as Donald Thompson, a police officer in the first and third Nightmare on Elm Street films. His character becomes one of the many victims of Freddy Krueger, but he still returned for one more film in the franchise, New Nightmare in 1994. So, another big loss to the genre world, of course. And then this one is a late-breaking one. The article literally just came out like 5 minutes before I hit record. Olivia De Havilland, the 2-time Academy Award winner from Hollywood's Golden Age, who starred in Gone with the Wind, has died at the age of 104. De Havilland's former lawyer Suzella Smith confirmed the actress's death in a statement given to Variety. Last night, the world lost an international treasure, and I lost a dear friend and beloved client. She died peacefully in Paris. De Havilland won Best Actress Oscars for her performance in The Heiress and To Each His Own. She also received nominations for Gone with the Wind, The Snake Pit, and Hold Back the Dawn. She played Melanie Hamilton in Gone with the Wind. She's been the last living star of the classic movie for more than 50 years, outliving Vivien Leigh, Leslie Howard, and Clark Gable. She once explained how a role in Gone with the Wind was game-changing for her career. And she says, "The characters I played before then were not real people. They were two-dimensional. They were not given any character development. Melanie was a real person, a caring person, a good woman, but also an intelligent woman and a tough woman. Most of all, she was a happy woman, a woman with a great capacity for happiness." She mostly stayed out of the spotlight in her later years, except for filing a lawsuit against the producers of the 2017 television series Feud. She objected to how she was portrayed in the series by Catherine Zeta-Jones, arguing that the producers acted without her approval and that the show did damage to her professional reputation for integrity, honesty, generosity, self-sacrifice, and dignity. And California's High Court rejected the suit in July of 2018, but the actress promised to pursue the issue to the Supreme Court. And looking back on her career, she said, "I feel not happy, not contented, but something else. Just grateful for having lived and having done so many things that I wanted to do and have also had so much meaning for other people," she said. She was born in Tokyo to British parents. She was the older sister of Joan Fontaine, who died at the age of 96 in 2013, and the two had a famously fraught relationship. When their parents separated, both girls went to live with their mother in California, and de Havilland is survived by her daughter Giselle Gallant-Chilunk. Her son Benjamin died in 1991 from lymphoma. So, there we go. We've got a lot of celebrity deaths this week. Big names for the most part. Well, two really big names and two somewhat big names. And there's not too many people left over from the golden age of Hollywood, so that is very sad. Let's talk about something fun. And what's more fun than podcasts? Nothing, because you guys are listening to podcasts out there in podcast land, so it's probably time to play a promo for the DragonCon Report, another podcast right here on the ESO Network.
Do you know you could take the DragonCon Report with you wherever you go? Heck, we are even now up on Alexa. Hey Alexa, play the DragonCon podcast up on iHeartRadio.
Playing the DragonCon Report from iHeartRadio. Playing the latest episode. The 2020 DragonCon Report Episode 2.
Howdy everyone and welcome to the second episode of the 2020 DragonCon Report.
Now, how cool is that? Remember, the DragonCon Report can be found wherever you find podcasts. See you at the show in September.
And wasn't that a wonderful podcast promo? It says that we'll see you in September, but I'm thinking that's not going to happen. I'm thinking everything's canceled just like all of 2020. So still check out the podcast. A lot of good information. It's great. Like I said, I went to DragonCon last year, and that was fantastic. So many people. Oh boy. If you have never been to a huge convention, you owe it to yourself to go because they're amazing. Bring lots of water. Now, let's talk about things that are supposed to be happening. We were supposed to have the San Diego ComicCon this past week, and of course we didn't because it was canceled, but there was some stuff that came out of it. They did the online stuff, which is fair, I guess. It's a thing. And really, the main thing that we learned, the only thing that really matters, is that we have, just like last week, we got the information and the release date and the trailer and all the stuff for Star Trek Lower Decks. Well, now we know what the other show is called. It's called Star Trek Prodigy. Nickelodeon and CBS Television Studios today officially revealed the title and logo for its all-new animated series, Star Trek Prodigy, which follows a group of lawless teens who discover a derelict Starfleet ship and use it to search for adventure, meaning, and salvation. This series is developed by Emmy Award winners Kevin and Dan Heijeman from Trollhunters and Ninjago, and overseen for Nickelodeon by Ramsey Nato. So that's exciting. And it says here, the CG animated series, which expands the Star Trek universe, will debut exclusively on Nickelodeon in 2021 for a new generation of fans. The title and logo were revealed during the Star Trek Universe panel at Comic-Con at Home. This series will be from CBS Animation Productions, CBS Television Studios' new animation arm, Secret Hideout, and Roddenberry Entertainment. Alex Kurtzman, Heather Caden, Katie Krentz, Rod Roddenberry, and Trevor Roth will serve as executive producers alongside Kevin and Dan Hageman. Aaron Byers will serve as co-executive producer. Because if there's one thing this new crop of Star Trek series has, ever since Discovery came on board, you need 75 different producers or executive producers for the shows, because you just can't have 2 or 3 or 4 like you did back in the day. No. Everybody's a producer. Everybody's an executive something or other. But the main thing is, we're getting another Star Trek series. And I know Josh would give it the 3-episode run, but this is exciting. It's supposed to be for younger fans. I guess the Lower Decks is for teenagers and young adults. I guess this is for like 6 to 12-year-olds, this Prodigy show, following teenagers on a derelict ship. But the thing is, it's going to be Star Trek because they're searching for adventure, meaning, and salvation. So who knows what that'll do? Who knows how many episodes we're going to get? Who knows what the animation style is going to be like? Because all we have is the logo. It looks pretty neat. It's very colorful. It's going to be on Nickelodeon. I'm going to watch it because it's Star Trek. Will it be any good? I certainly hope so. Just have to wait and see. That's really it.
Hi, this is Admiral Adama, Battlestar Galactica, saying you're listening to the Rusted Robot Podcast. Think about it.
Oh boy, would you look at this. We have a late-breaking development on the podcast. Little Robin woke up and he decided to join me for the second half of the podcast recording. How are you, little brother?
Oh, hi, how are you?
Good. All right. So I just finished talking about all the dead celebrities.
Oh, yes. Well, there was a... Regis. And we had Peter Green.
Yeah.
And John Saxon.
Yeah.
And Olivia De Havilland.
Way to read the show notes. That's an excellent job.
Thank you.
Do you know who Olivia De Havilland was?
Well, she was... no, I have no idea.
No, she was in Gone with the Wind.
Oh, yes.
She was
that was a little before my time.
A little bit, yeah. And Peter Green, of course, founding member of Fleetwood Mac.
Yep.
John Saxon was in Enter the Dragon and Nightmare on Elm Street.
That's
and
right,
a bunch of other stuff. And, of course, Regis. That was egregious death there.
Oh.
Regis. Oh. Yeah, oh boy. Okay, and then I talked about Star Trek Prodigy, the new Kitty cartoon, coming in 2021.
Is that what it is, or is that a different one?
Lower Decks is coming this...
so there's 2 different...
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Lower Decks is coming out August 6th, and that follows the no-name crew members.
Right, the red shirts.
On an unimportant starship.
Yeah.
Basically, it's the second contact starship.
Oh, okay.
Not first contact. They go up and talk to the people that they've already been talked to, but a second time. So Lower Decks is coming out in 2 weeks, but Prodigy comes out sometime next year. That's for little kids from 6 to 12.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's a bunch of teenagers who find a derelict Starfleet vessel, and they fix it up, and they go out for adventure.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. So that's all very exciting. We don't have any other information other than that.
Okay.
But what I wanted to talk about coming up after all that stuff was the trailer we just watched for something called Helstrom.
Ah, yes. Helstrom.
There he is.
My boy.
Mommy, dearest. I know you set something loose on this world. What was it?
I think you know. No stone unturned.
My body is
This family's unnatural behavior. I've never experienced anything like it.
So that is a trailer that just came out at ComicCon 2020. It's coming to Hulu on...
ComicCon 2020 at home.
You got it. October 16th. And what we know about this is it's Marvel's Helstrom is a chilling supernatural thriller inspired by Marvel Comics' Son of Satan and Satanic characters. Do you know, you're all into comic books, do you know who those characters are?
Not so much exactly. Like, I'm familiar with, you know, some of the more characters from that were Ghost Rider and stuff, which involved the Devil and Mephisto and all those other ones. But this is a little bit out of my wheelhouse, but looks interesting.
Looks interesting. I'm just reading the comments on YouTube, and somebody says they took a very, and I mean a very different take on these characters than the comics. As long as Damon has the birthmark and uses his giant hell rod and conjures soul fire or whatever, I guess I'll be down to watch it. So that's way more information than we had before. And it says here, Netflix's Lucifer will clearly not be pleased that his son is trying to upstage him.
No.
I don't think they're related.
I don't think so.
But very good. It looks like it's interesting. We don't have Hulu, but a lot of our listeners do, I bet.
Yeah.
So if we had Hulu, would you watch this? Does it look interesting?
I mean, I will give anything the old college try. Right? I'll watch the first 2 episodes, and if it hooks me for further, then I will, but, you know.
Okay. Well, we may or may not watch that. It may or may not have more than 3 episodes before it gets canceled.
Yeah.
But here is the trailer for Bill and Ted 3.
Excellent!
For this and the wild stallions.
Let's rock!
When your wives suggested couples therapy, do you think that this is what they had in mind?
Definitely. I mean, we're a couple of couples, right?
Bill, Ted, enough of the delusions. You didn't time travel, and you didn't go to heaven and hell. Here's a real idea for you. Be role models to your daughters. Get real jobs.
Bill, we've spent our whole life trying to unite the world, and I'm tired, dude.
Ted, we have a destiny to fulfill.
Whoa! Greetings, my excellent friends. We have a problem.
Step forward. A song created by Preston Logan, performed tonight, will save reality as we know it.
Dude, we better write that song now. Or why can't we just go to the future when we have written it?
And take it from ourselves.
Except, won't that be stealing?
Cheers! How is that stealing if we're stealing it from ourselves, dude?
Dude, our dads are totally in trouble. You should help them out.
No way! How's it going, Bill and Ted?
We're putting together a most extraordinary band. Hey, you want to be in our band?
Oh, this is ja fantastisch. We're gonna go talk to Death. Is he playing hopscotch by himself? Dude, he's cheating. Hey, Death.
For this and the wild stallions.
Let's rock!
Be excellent to each other.
And party on, dudes.
Yeah! Billy! Yes!
How you doing?
Well, you know, we're dead and we're in hell.
But how you doing?
We're good.
Awesome trailer?
Totally awesome.
You watched it already, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we get some more plot details.
Yeah. You know what I'm picking up? I'm picking up that we're getting a little bit of the first movie and a little bit of the second movie, and they're kind of combining them into this sequel.
Right.
I've been looking forward to Bill and Ted 3 for years, actually. Ever since I first heard about it.
Yeah.
And I was a huge fan of the originals.
It's the sequel almost 30 years in the making.
Yeah. Doesn't Keanu look so...
weird without a beard?
Yeah.
Because we're used to John Wick Keanu.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same exact thing. Yes.
He's not that... I get it, he's playing that, you know, that meathead character from way back, but he's just so... He's aged.
He has aged a lot.
Yeah.
He looks way better with a beard.
Yes, he does.
He's still got the John Wick hair. but no beard. So it's kind of jarring.
Yeah, and has Alex Winter done anything in the last 20 years? Like
he was moving into directing and producing.
Oh, okay.
From what I understand.
Because he's been
MIA on the big screen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good to see him return. It's nice to see that we get Death again in this one.
And this time we get their daughters.
Yeah.
So that sets us up for sequel after sequel off into the future with Bill and Ted's daughters for more shows.
Yeah. Yeah, more spin-offs and more crap that they can milk out of it. That's good.
Why not?
Why not?
That's what it's all about. There's no original ideas left, so we might as well
true.
keep going back to the well.
Go back to the well.
Yeah.
Sadly, we don't have George Carlin with us anymore to...
That is very unfortunate.
To be a part of this, but I wonder if they'll do any stock footage. I wonder if we'll get a cameo of some kind in that case. I don't know.
That's hard to say.
Hard to say.
I don't really know.
Me neither.
It'd be cool.
It would be.
At least some kind of acknowledgement of some kind.
Yeah.
But hard to say what they're going to do. We don't know when this is coming out. It was supposed to have already been out.
Yeah.
Or was it August?
I think it was August.
Yeah.
July or August.
Something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'll be out there eventually.
Eventually. I'm getting tired of this.
Because everything's getting pushed back and pushed around. And
tired of the pushback.
Video on demand. I think, what's his name there? Tom Hanks' Greyhound just went to streaming or Disney Plus or Video on Demand or Apple TV or something like that. Didn't even go to the theater, of course, so they just, let's get it out there and do that thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's really it for trailers. Did you come across anything else that I've missed?
I think there was, or maybe you covered it last week, I'm not sure, The Boys Season 2?
Yeah, we did Boys Season 2.
Okay, yeah.
It's been picked up for Season 3 already.
I saw that, yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
And talking about things that have been picked up for more seasons, did you ever watch The Dragon Prince on Netflix?
I have not.
Well, the other day at ComicCon's virtual event, the team at Wonderstorm announced the renewal of its hit Netflix fantasy show, The Dragon Prince, for a 4th season.
Oh, wow.
But not only that, Netflix has picked up the series for the entire 7-season saga.
My word.
So no more worries about the future of The Dragon Prince, which is, to put it mildly, truly excellent news. Up until today, the future of the show has remained uncertain, despite it being one of the best family offerings on the streaming service.
Interesting.
And I have watched this, all of it, in the mornings before I go to work. Because I like to throw on some Netflix and watch some cartoons in the morning.
Of course.
So if you don't know anything about it, The Dragon Prince is the story of two competing civilizations. Elves and the magical creatures who live in their realm, including powerful dragons, have the power of magic. Different types of elves have different powers. For instance, the Sunfire elves have fiery powers, whereas the Moon elves are illusionists. Humans, meanwhile, have no natural access to magic and wield the powerful but dangerous dark magic. Dark magic requires the sacrifice of magical creatures in order to cast spells, and the elves and dragons have condemned the practice. War has left the two peoples at odds for generations. The story picks up when a young elf assassin joins forces with two human princes to bring peace to Zadia.
Interesting.
I think you would like it. Your kids would like it. It's interesting enough for an adult such as me, if we can call me an adult.
Well,
I don't know.
Questionable.
Sometimes it's questionable. Yeah, so that's what's going on there. What else? Julie and I have been watching the heck out of Sons of Anarchy.
Good.
We're a little bit late to the party, but...
Yeah, a little late. I was late to the party, too.
Mm-hmm.
I waited until after the series had finished.
Yes.
On TV, and then I binged the whole thing in like 3 months.
Right.
It was fantastic.
It is. Yeah, we're midway through season 2.
Oh.
And her daughter sometimes watches with us, but Mom has to cover the eyes.
Yes.
There's some questionable material there.
Yes.
But she's always like, are you going to watch the motorcycle show? Like, yeah, we're going to watch the motorcycle show.
Such a good show.
It's very good.
You know what? I recently turned on, and I got 5 episodes into it. It's there's 2 seasons on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Dead to Me.
Dead to Me. I've heard of that.
Yeah, and it has Christina Applegate and Linda Cardinelli. And I thought it was going to be more along the lines of how Santa Clarita Diet was.
Oh, yes.
So I was like, okay, let's try this. And it's not quite Santa Clarita Diet-ish, but at the end of every episode, they give you this hook. It hooks you, and it's like, oh, they're going to get caught.
It's one of those.
So it's... I watched a little bit of that, and I was like, all right. It's not bad. It's got, it's got James Marsden in it as well.
That's Cyclops?
Yeah.
Right.
He's looking a lot like, who does he remind me of? in this show. Kind of like Henry Cavill.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He doesn't come off as James Marsden-ish as he normally does. And I can't stand James Marsden, to be honest. And
or are you getting him confused with James Marsters?
No.
No? Okay. Just checking.
Yeah, no.
All right. So Dead to Me.
Dead to Me.
Recommend. Out of the 5 episodes you've seen.
Yeah. I mean...
You're going to keep going?
It's 10 episodes, so...
Okay.
I might as well finish the first season.
You might as well.
Might as well.
And you said you finished all of Space Force. I never got past the 3 episodes I watched.
I did, yeah. I finished Space Force. Recommend.
Okay. Right on. And is there anything else you've been watching? Any wrestling news? Any concert information? Anything else that you want to talk about?
Well, there's really no concert information.
No.
As far as wrestling, Impact Wrestling had their big pay-per-view Slammiversary last weekend, and there was a lot of returns.
How'd that go?
It was a good, decent show. Then there was the Extreme Rules pay-per-view, and there was an eye for an eye match, and with Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins, and that was interesting enough. Yeah, I don't know. There's really been. There is a new wrestling video game coming out in September.
Oh, tell me.
Yeah, WWE Battlegrounds, I think it's called.
Okay.
And it's over-animated, ridiculous character models with just really arcade-style shenanigans.
Okay.
Don't know if I'm going to pick it up. I might. We'll see.
Sounds like a thing you'd pick up.
Yeah.
Okay. And just looking through the last little bits of things to talk about, there's the StarTrek.com gallery of photos, Escape to the World of Star Trek Discovery, with these 360-degree photos.
Oh my goodness.
So that's exciting. And also, Star Wars has released official background images to be used on video calls.
Wow.
So like Skype and Zoom and whatnot.
Good.
So if you want some Star Wars backgrounds for your calls on Skype.
You know which one I would use?
Tell me.
Endor, so I can Endor this call.
There you go. I see what you did there.
You see what I did there?
You're a pretty friggin' clever guy.
I am clever.
Yes.
I haven't even had my first coffee yet.
Wow.
Amigo.
That's incredible. Well, you know what, then? I think this is probably a good spot to end our podcast because there's not much more to talk about, and it was an excellent show while it lasted. So thanks for coming on for the last half.
Oh, sure.
The last half?
The last half.
The last half.
The last half.
The last
of
little
us.
bit.
The last half of us.
The last half of us.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. So where can everybody reach us? You don't know, do you?
No idea.
TheRustedRobot@gmail.com. TheRustedRobot.podbean.com. We're on Twitter. Not that I use it. We're everywhere you want to be. And soon we're going to be on Pandora. Because we're already on Stitcher.
Oh, don't open up that box.
I know. Oh, boy. All right. Well, thanks for that.
You're welcome. Glad to be of service.
Cheesy cheesiness. All right, gang. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for listening. Take care. And remember, once you believe, signs are everywhere. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Rusted Robot Podcast. Your support is greatly appreciated, and we hope you'll tune in again next time. Remember that you can visit therustedrobot.podbean.com for all of our social media links, and don't forget to share the show with everyone you know. The Rusted Robot Podcast is your best source for geek-style pop culture news.
I could do this all day.
It's that time of year once again where we have brand new Star Trek news thanks to ComicCon at home. Let's dive into the news and information we've got from today and discuss it all. Hey everyone, my name is Captain Jack and welcome to Trek Central. Today we're talking about CBS's Star Trek ComicCon at Home panel, which has contained new information about what we can expect from the Star Trek franchise for the remainder of 2020, as well as confirmation of what other new Star Trek series are going to be called, as well as further confirmation from what to expect as we head into 2021. If you're new around here, be sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video. You can also follow us on social media to stay up to date with the latest Star Trek news. Alright, let's jump in. First up, let's talk Star Trek Strange New Worlds. The Captain Pike series we've all been waiting for, but was actually teased this time last year by Alex Kurtzman himself. We learned that 10 stories have already been broken for the show. Whether this directly correlates to the episodes, we do not know, but it definitely reinforces that Strange New Worlds will be episodic in a turn away from what current Trek has done with sequential storytelling in Star Trek Picard and Star Trek Discovery. The next bit of info comes from Heather Caden herself, going into the animated front of the new Star Trek slate, with our first look at the Nickelodeon animated show by the Emmy Award-winning Kevin and Dan Hageman, who created the animated show Trollhunters. This show is now titled Star Trek Prodigy, which follows a group of lawless teens who discover a derelict Starfleet ship and use it to search for adventures, meaning, and salvation. We finally get a look at the logo for Prodigy, which looks amazing, with the words Prodigy and a typical Trek Command star inside it. Prodigy will be different from Lower Decks, not only in demographic but also animation style, with it being a CG animated series. The series is set to debut exclusively on Nickelodeon in 2021, which we presume will also be the case for international distribution. Thankfully, after much rumour and speculation, as well as a casual confirmation from sources early in the year, we finally got the concrete name for this ambitious new series. I for one am super excited to see what it offers a new generation of Star Trek fans, hopefully getting them involved and interested in the world of Star Trek. Now, Star Trek Discovery Season 3 is of course on our minds, as we're looking forward to the upcoming third season of the show. Not much information was dropped about it, but as we know, it's still on track to air in 2020, apparently. Thanks to a Q&A session with the cast, we've learned a few details about the third season and what to expect from it as we await its arrival. Actor Anthony Rapp, who plays Paul Stamets, has commented on the family feel of the third season by saying the following. To me, one of the great things about Season 3 is that it really blends the personal/family nature of the show, not just in literal family, like our coupledom, but also the family of the starship. Actress Mary Wiseman, who plays Ensign Tilly, commented on her character's outlook by saying the following. I think there's always a pie in the sky. She's reaching some sort of zenith of leadership within Starfleet. It's interesting to know that Tilly, in Season 3, still has her aspiration to become a Starfleet captain. Though how she'll do that in the future remains to be seen, especially if Starfleet and the Federation are no more. Michelle Yeoh, who plays Philippa Georgiou, commented that her character is mentally pissed off when she enters Season 3. This could tie into how the character finds a way back to join the Section 31 series, though we'll need to wait and see how that plays out in the long run. This certainly has a lot of questions surrounding it right now, and is a heavily discussed topic among the Trekkie fandom. There is still no word on when we can exactly expect Discovery Season 3 to air on our screens, though many speculate that it will be in October 2020, as that is roughly when Star Trek Lower Decks will finish its first season. This could be a great moment to start at Discovery Season 3, so we'll have to wait for more news on that. Several trailers and promotional art released this year does still say 2020 on it, and if it was looking for a moment to delay it, this would have been the prime time to actually announce that. However, it still looks like it's going to be on course for 2020 so far. Now, moving to Star Trek Lower Decks. This series has extended clips shown to us, however there's still no details on the international distributor for the series. Star Trek Lower Decks, the brand new entry into the franchise, will air on August 6th, 2020, just 2 weeks away now. If you're in the United States, you can watch Lower Decks on CBS All Access, and of course if you're in Canada, you can watch it via CTV Sci-Fi or the streaming service Crave. We were hoping that more details would release on the international distributor via ComicCon, but sadly that is not the case. We'll have to wait for more news later on next week. We've got a good look at Star Trek Lower Decks, the upcoming Trek animated series coming to us on August 6th. We basically see the same scene that starts with the trailer for the series, with Ensign Brad Boimler on the USS Cerritos missions of Second Contact. Ensign Marina is drunk on Romulan whiskey, funny, which is different from Romulan ale but still as intoxicating and probably still as illegal. She plays around with a blood-encrusted bat'leth, which she claims to have been given to her by a Klingon with an eye patch. It's all fun and games for Marina until she accidentally cuts into Ensign Boimler's leg, where you can even see the bone. I definitely did not expect that, but a trip down to sickbay will be a great place to introduce us to the Katean CMO, Dr. Tanana. Now we're going to do an extended deep dive into the exclusive scene, as well as some of the images that were released earlier this week, so keep an eye out for that in an upcoming video. Don't worry, we've got you covered on the Lower Decks information for now. In regards to Star Trek Picard, there's nothing newsworthy that came out of the Star Trek panel, as it's mostly a retrospective of the first season of Picard, which is meant for the cast. It was still extremely interesting to watch, so if you haven't, we would recommend going in and watching Sir Patrick Stewart, or SPS as the cast apparently call him, and the others talking about what Star Trek Picard meant for them and their adventures on the first season. We'll leave a link down below to the full panel where you can go and watch that for yourself. I would highly suggest you do so. Okay, so that's all our information from the ComicCon at home for today. There is another Star Trek panel later this evening, Woman of Trek, so be sure to check out our social media pages for coverage of that. If you want to keep up to date with all things Star Trek, be sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video. You can also visit our website for brand new articles, as well as join in our community Discord server to chat with like-minded Trekkies about the series and movies you love. To be honest, overall, I was expecting more from Comic-Con this year, but then again, given the circumstances, it's understandable we wasn't going to get major announcements as this is just a virtual panel compared to the original format of in-person via Hall H they typically do at San Diego Comic-Con. Hopefully next year we'll all be back to seeing everyone together in Hall H, but we've got to wait and see how that plays out. Yes, the Star Trek Prodigy news is fantastic, finally another Trek series to add to our ever-growing universe. For now, I've been Captain Jack, thanks for watching, and we'll see you very soon. Live long and prosper, my friends.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping through Amazon.com or the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.